Show. Steve Basic Architect for the Build Show. Yeah, we are down here in coastal Massachusetts, Forever Home. And yeah, very exciting times. Hopefully you watch the videos on the foundation, the demo, and the insulation on the outside, because we're about to head up to the job site and talk about floor framing, which is always one of my favorite pieces. Like, you actually see the beginnings of that house getting built. But before we head up there, I wanted to give you a little postcard of what it means to live in New England. We got boats in the water, we got docks, we have a beautiful osprey nest right there with mom guarding it. Anyways, let's head on up the road and we'll catch you up there at the Forever Home and we'll talk about floor framing. Floor framing. Guys are putting it down over there. We're gonna dive into it, but I always think it's important for some of our viewers, and I know we have everything from the new do-it-yourselfers to young builders, young architects, to seasoned professionals, and the seasoned professionals are probably like, Steve, you were gonna bore me, but I am. I'm gonna walk through the numbers because I think it's always important about the decisions that we make on projects. Why did we make those decisions? And what are the products that we in fact are using? First thing, of course, is the floor joist. And these are floor joists that come out of Canada, and they are a trimmable floor joist. You can see there, and I have all these materials over there. We're going to talk about them in depth, but we have a trimmable floor joist. We have our band joist over there, which is what goes around the outer edge. And then of course we have our floor sheathing, which is made by Huber Engineered Woods. It's Advantech by name, and it's a 3/4 inch floor sheathing. And we have all those samples. So I'm gonna take a quick walk over to the sawhorses, catch up with you there, and we'll go break down every piece of this floor frame. All right, so I got a bunch of the pieces that we're actually using as part of the floor framing package here. There's basically, like I said earlier, 3 major components: the floor joist, the floor sheathing, and then the band joist. So let's first talk about what goes on top. It's probably the last thing of the floor frame. We'll work in reverse. We have Advantech here. Advantech is made by a company, Huber Engineered Woods. It's a 3/4 inch OSB. OSB stands for Oriented Strand Board. You might know some of their products as Zip, which is OSB for the wall with an integrated weather-resistant barrier. But this is actually their floor sheathing. And the thing to make note of is, because this is OSB, and you can see I grabbed the little piece here, it's basically just a bunch of strands. They are actually placed on the platform in a very specific, logical, engineered pattern, because that develops a certain level of strength, right? These in fact are a beam. When you go in between the floor joists, this is acting like a beam. You don't want to have it deflect in between those floor joists. So it needs to be strong enough to carry that. Getting back to my other point there is, because it's OSB and the zip on the wall is OSB, don't mistake them for being the same thing. I know a lot of people, whenever I post something about OSB, they lump it into this one category of OSB. There's tons of different OSBs being made out there. There's commodity OSB that's really cheap. It's made for the agricultural industry. It's made to get beat up, thrown away, be temporary. And then you have the better quality, or the highest of quality of OSB, which is the Advantech. And the reason for that is understand, this is getting installed on the flat. Now, yes, hot day here, middle of August, I'm sweating. There's probably no challenges here. But you've seen some of my videos where we might have a pool of water after a rainstorm. We might have 6 inches of snow and ice sitting on this in February as we're framing a house. So the Advantech really has to be built and developed for the worst case scenario, not a hot sunny day like today. And in fact, that's what it is. The minute I put it vertically and call it a wall panel, it's going to shed that water. So those challenges of being compromised by something perpendicular to the surface really don't exist on the wall panel. So they can take out some of the glue, they can change the composition, the size of the strands. There's a whole bunch of things that change it to make one Advantech and one Zip.